Hey, what's up? My name is Johannes, and in today's video I want to talk about how you can read more books. If you find this video helpful, hit the like button because it really helps the channel with the YouTube algorithm and everything. If you want to see more videos like this on intentional living, on books and on personal development, then subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, let's jump right into it. I've actually never been much of a reader. In high school, I never read any books that I didn't have to read, and even if I did have to read books for school, I usually didn't finish them. But in college, I discovered books and I started reading more and more, and now I'm at a point where I usually read 30 or 40 or 50 books per year. And I'm not a fast reader at all. Actually, I think my reading speed is probably below average. And I also don't spend hours and hours of reading every day. So how do I do this? How do I read 50 books per year without being a super fast reader or without spending a lot of time reading? In one word, consistency. I might not be the fastest reader, but I am consistent. On some days I read 2 hours, on others I only read 15 minutes, but there rarely passes a day where I don't read. And that's really all you need. If you read every day, even if it's just for 30 minutes, then over time you will read a lot of books, and it's absolutely unavoidable. And you can do this even if you don't have a lot of time for reading, because the difference between reading 0 minutes and 50 minutes a day is huge. Over your lifetime, this could mean the difference between having read almost no books at all and having read all the classics. But of course, this is a lot easier said than done. Consistency doesn't just happen, and willpower will only get you so far. So you need good systems in place to help you. For me, this was a very slow process and it took years, but looking back, I can see that I did a few very simple things, that I put some very simple systems in place that allowed me to do that. And you can easily apply them right now. My first tip is to build reading into your routine and to create reminders for yourself. Make reading a set part of your day. All the things that we do routinely every day are built into our days, and they are built on top of each other. After I wake up, I brush my teeth. After I brush my teeth, I take a shower. After taking a shower, I prepare breakfast. Most of our life consists of these types of sequences that we do automatically every day without even thinking about it. And if you want to read every day, you need to find a place for reading in this sequence of routines. I, for example, read every evening before going to bed, and it is a set part of my evening routine. Other people prefer to read in the morning or read on their morning commute. It doesn't really matter, but what's important is that it's a specific time of the day that you know is always going to be your time for reading. Now, if you found a spot in your routine that you want to dedicate to reading, you now need to put in place reminders that remind you to read at that time. I, for example, always have a book on my bedside, so when I go to bed in the evening, I can't not notice that there's a book, and I will automatically pick it up and read it because it reminds me of this habit, it triggers this habit. Reading books is a lot like working out in the gym. The more you do it and the more you build your reading muscles, the easier it gets and the less effort it takes. So if you aren't yet an avid reader, don't start with Moby Dick or War and Peace. Try to start with something that you enjoy, something like Harry Potter or a Dan Brown novel or a non-fiction book about a topic that you are very passionate about. When you are reading a book that you are really looking forward to reading, then it's very easy to read every day. And if you do this for a while, if you read every day for a month or two, it will become a part of who you are. You will become the type of person who reads every day, and it will become very easy for you to read. And once you have done this, you can very easily tackle more difficult books. If you don't yet have a very strong reading habit and you read something like Moby Dick, you will probably want to quit at some point when he just lists different types of whales for 20 pages. But when you have a strong reading habit, you can just power through and really get the reward from reading a book like this. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you want to become a reader, surround yourself with readers. If you want to become the kind of person who reads a lot, you need to become part of a community where reading a lot is expected and encouraged. So you could join a book club or ask your friends to join you on your journey with trying to read more books. And also change the people that you surround yourself with online. This includes the Instagram and TikTok accounts you follow, the YouTube channels you watch, the podcasts you listen to. All these things influence you, and they create a bubble around you of what is normal, what is expected, and when all these channels tell you reading is what is expected, then this will influence you and make you a stronger reader. Something that is very important to understand when you are trying to change your habits is that everything you do in a given day is determined by just a handful of moments of decisions. For example, in the evening, do you grab a book or do you switch on the TV? It's just one moment, it's just one decision, but it determines how you will spend the next hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours. Or when you are on a train and you take out your phone, do you open the Instagram app or the Kindle app? This decision determines how you will spend the entirety of your train ride. That is why it's very important that you identify these moments of decision and that you prepare for them. And you want to make the habits that you want to have as easy and as frictionless as they can be. And you want to make the habits that you don't want as difficult as possible and increase friction. And this is something that I did when I started reading more early in college. I knew that I wanted to read every evening before going to bed, but it was very awkward for me to do that because I only had one lamp on the ceiling, so I always had to put a chair in the middle of the room under this lamp so that I have light for reading, and this made the whole process very difficult and uncomfortable. So I bought a small desk lamp and put it on my bedside table so that I can easily read in my bed and just have to push one button, and that made the entire experience so much easier and frictionless. And I think that is one big part why I ended up becoming successful with making this a daily habit. And this is also why I stored my TV in the basement for a long time, because I knew that I wanted to spend my evenings reading rather than watching TV, and having TV available at a push of a button is just way too easy, and that's why I also decided to eventually sell it. Something that I found very helpful is to set small goals. If your goal is to read more books and you want to read 50 books per year, then it can be very tempting to set goals such as reading 50 pages per day because you want to get to your end goal as fast as possible. But that can be very dangerous because achieving a high goal like this every single day can be very difficult, and so there is a risk that you will not achieve it every day and become frustrated and then want to quit altogether. Instead, I like to set very small goals like read 1 page per day or read 5 minutes per day, because you can always do that. And that doesn't mean that you can read only 1 page or only 5 minutes. Once you start reading a page, you will probably read another page and another page and another page, and you will end up reading 10, 20, 50 pages. But giving yourself permission to read only 1 page lowers the barrier and it makes it easier to stick with it. So even if you only read 1 page per day for the next 30 days, you won't have read that much, but you will have built a reading habit. You will have become a person who reads every day. And this is something that you can build on. And when you have that kind of daily reading habit for a while, your reading muscles will get a lot stronger. You will be able to focus for longer, you will be able to read faster, and you can easily read more pages then. One final tip that I want to share with you today is that you turn dead time into a lifetime. By that time, I mean all these times where you are not actually experiencing life, where you are not actually doing anything, the times where you are just waiting for the time to pass. This could be, for example, the time you spend commuting to work. This could be time waiting in a doctor's office. All these times can be turned into a lifetime, into time that you use and that you enjoy. And reading is actually one of the best ways to turn that time into a lifetime, because it's so easy to always have a book with you. You can install the Kindle app on your phone, you can always put a paperback in your pocket, or you can listen to audiobooks. And even by just doing that, by just using all this dead time to read, you can increase the number of books you read per year by a lot. These were my tips for reading more books. I hope you found them helpful. If you did, like this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you if you want in my next video.